Whew, all right. Wow. Peace and blessings, family. Sister Ajali, greetings to you. The brother is back. Yeah, you've left a comment. How do I highlight your comment? Let's see. Can I do that? Nope, nope. I don't want to. I sure don't want to delete your account. Um, okay. I don't know how I can highlight. Oh, show right there. Let's see. Oh, that works. That's good. Um, yeah, what everyone is going around the same time. Yeah, this is what I've been warning us about for goodness gracious, for the full 14 years since Fukushima exploded. It took me, I don't know, maybe about a couple months before I got a full understanding. I just needed to add as much of the data as possible of the carnage that explosion that happened on 3/11/11 was going to be to the entire planet. Now, wow, woo, I'm going to be as calm as I can be. I just because I spoke about Sister Ananda Lewis, and let me just add this part right here and go on over to the pictures. Peace, beloved. The Most High is my light and salvation. I love your name. That's a beautiful name. Peace and blessings to you, beloved. And here is our sister, Ananda Lewis. And what struck me about Ananda, because she'd been suffering from breast cancer for 7 years. And when I went to see her, my absolute dislike, it's based on complete and utter disappointment in famous people, that so much so that I call them celebrities. After seeing Ananda Lewis's channel on Instagram, I couldn't call her that at all. Even though I think there's many levels of the mentalities we've been given, and the ones that are the most predominant amongst our people are dysfunctional, utterly, completely, totally dysfunctional, so that we've reached this level where we can be annihilated, which is the plan. Absolutely, it is the plan. And we've stymied them a little bit because white people see us with the minds of white people, and thereby they expected us in our Negropean mindset where we trust them first before we will trust our own good sense, even, let alone another black person who might be speaking a whole lot more sense than you're thinking at the time. We'll trust them that it's stymied them because we're not as volatile. We're not like them. And thereby, what we're seeing right now with the LA riots, I've been doing some research on it. I wouldn't even be up here if not for the fact that this good sister has transitioned. And let me start immediately by offering my condolences to her family and my definite soulful ashe, ashe, ashe to her passing. Because even though, she was a member of the Smith family, that's Harry Smith, their husband, Will Smith's brother, and you could see the resemblance, and their wonderful son, who's just lost his mother, and she was only 52 years old. She was a sister. She was definitively a sister. I'm not mad at those who are caught up in the results of this generational hounding that has been just pushed on all of us, and it's been highly effective because it is flattering to our wish to just be finally left alone and to be seen as, worthy, be seen as, because I'll watch different shares about China, and especially there's this one Procyon Loader dude who married a Chinese woman. I'm not getting into him, but he will share videos showcasing the racism of China. When I sit back and I'm like, you know what? It's a different thing when it's non-white people who can't stand us. Every other non-black race can't stand us simply because of the discomfort they have with the phenomenon of us, of melanin. They don't have the physiology to take all of that in. So this particular black-like man was highlighting the racism, and this Chinese woman had given birth to a biracial baby. And, or no, she didn't give birth to it. Somebody else had given birth. It was a Chinese woman who just goes around, and anytime she sees a little biracial Chinese baby or a black baby, it wasn't even a biracial baby. I'm remembering it scatter in pieces, but it was a fully black baby. And from the facial features, it seemed as if it was an African baby. And she'll go, and for some weirdo reason, she insists when she sees these little black babies on picking them up and holding them and highlighting them on her Douyin account. That's the Chinese Facebook. And she'll just show it. And then in the comments later, all these Chinese people are saying the same old repetitive insults about a little black baby. You know, monkey, stupid, this and that. It just very, very few complimentary things. And this baby it doesn't even matter. All babies are adorable, right? So this is one of the things that it makes us, especially when we're children, you feel that when you realize all at once, like I'm sure we all went through that dawning period where we're just like, the whole world hates us. But we don't say us, we say hates me. And that just causes drastic damage right then and there. Then on top of the way that they stack the deck with so many operatives. I mean, there's armies of operatives. So when I look at the LA riots, even, I've been doing all of this different in-depth studying, and I found out that pretty much behind that is the Chinese. I know the US is also behind it because the entire West Coast is an evacuation zone because of Fukushima, but they are never going to admit it, because that's the point of Fukushima, has been to wipe us out. Now, I know there's lots of white people who do watch my channel. I'm not mad at you for that. Right? I welcome anybody who can handle somebody who wishes you no harm, but still going to tell you the daggone truth. Right? There are no other races of people on this planet for whom an entire study was ordered by the US Congress on what to do about the Negro dilemma. And the conclusion of the book that was written by Gunnar Myrdal was, white people in America would love to just wipe us out, if only it doesn't make them feel too guilty. And so they've been stacking the deck, hoping that we'll just, like a powder keg, just pop off. And we don't want to. We're pretty much, there's a Black love, Black power awakening going on amongst us, where they're doing their daggone best to ignore it, just like Fukushima. And they're doing their doggone best to turn it around by grabbing hold of all the media. So all we have is as entertainment offerings are absolute trash and garbage. Redundancies. As long as they get the propaganda off, there doesn't need to be really too much of a storyline. Dr. Shi and I were talking earlier about the show Sinners. That's a strong man. He'll watch stuff. I'm done with anything coming out of Hella Weird. And so he was talking about that, and he said the last great movie that has been filmed was To Sleep with Anger with Danny Glover. And I agreed with him. That was it. That was the end. Oh my God. I don't want to put my fan on because it's so warm. I mean, because it's too noisy. But they want to drag us back to hating our natural selves. And it's not working because we didn't pop a cork like right now coming up all Mexicans and all of those, immigrants. They're not immigrants, they are illegal. They're trying to subvert the natural method of getting in. You have a right as a nation. I consider myself a citizen of our Black nation, but we are a prisoner of war nation. So that has a whole bunch of other, just rights that are contingent upon us. So we could claim American citizenship, but we are not really, because we are not treated. And these people don't represent us. The US government doesn't represent us, right? And so they are illegal aliens. And Donald Trump has a right to protect the sovereignty of the United States. But as long as they don't confess about Fukushima, about man-made radiation, they are rescinding their sovereignty because there's an inherent understanding between the citizenry and those that are duly elected or even, legacy in charge, that they're there to protect the nation. They identify with the nation. Right now, government-wide, worldwide, they are working on behalf of the satanic elites. They're not working on behalf of humanity. But at the same time, there are still little portions of just civilized behavior that must be protected. As I say, when it comes to our peace, my peace, I protect that. It sounds, aggressive when we're talking about my sense of peace, but that's what you got to do, especially in this society that's been just generationally hounded so that everybody goes increasingly more destabilized in their ability to handle stress. You don't have to respond the way that these devils want you to. And so, in these different levels of Negropeanism, I don't mean any insult. I mean a diagnostic attempt to be of service so that we can save our people. So that Ananda Lewis, who for a brief amount of time tried alternative methods, but when I was going through her Instagram channel, I clearly diagnosed she wasn't fully with it. Her diet wasn't aware enough in order to eliminate the cancerous breast tissue. And I understand about, I don't know, maybe 3 months ago, her cancer metastasized and spread to other organs. When someone subscriber shared that with me, I was like, that's it. Because I knew the methods that she was using, even though I think she was using integrative, but for a good long while she refused, and good for her. But you cannot, just step away from their cancer remedies and then you kind of half step it with some, feel good palliative remedies. You got to go full force and you have to consult truly dedicated practitioners of holistic healing on a deep, deep level, right? There's, what is it? Oh, sweet wormwood with iron, which has been reported to eliminate 96% of cancerous breast tissue within 24 hours, 48 hours. But you have to find those who practice that on a just knowledgeable level so that you can thereby gauge, is it effective for you? It's not effective for you. You can't just, because I'm not going to get up here and endanger anybody's life by saying I definitively can, cure you of anything. I can give you my recommendations, but if you are, and I can give you my personal insight as someone who is almost never ever sick. Though I did have my cold sore again. As soon as I mentioned it, it popped back on up on my face. I was like, boy, there you go. Right? But generally, for a 62-year-old woman, I'm good. I'm good. Right? I'm just saying, cancer ain't my concern because I've done that much in-depth research on the nature of radiation and just everything. I'm just a nonstop researcher like Dr. She is too. And so I'm coming here because I did speak about Ananda Lewis's cancer while she was with us. And I just very much feel for her loss because she left us a beautiful, fully Black young man. I hope, like the Dickens, his spirit is strong enough to resist the lunacy of hell weird. I really hope, especially, I mean, I don't mean anything untoward towards her husband, who's now a widower. But yeah, that family's got some serious issues right there. I hope he doesn't. You could come from a family and say, you know what, I'm just not gonna do what my family did. Right. And so yeah, I ain't gonna front on that. I definitely respect the tradition of not speaking ill of the dead, and I have nothing ill to speak on of Ananda Lewis. If there's something ill I have to say about somebody, unless it's attached to a larger political agenda, I don't say nothing. I don't say nothing. I don't come up here, I don't do shares about people who pass and I don't like you not one bit. But I genuinely, from her Instagram, that channel, that was the one thing that struck me, was because I was ready. I was like, oh, I'm ready to go in. I'm gonna find something awful about Ananda Lewis and I'm gonna highlight it and whatever. And then I went there and I was like, no, she was a lovely lady. She was a lovely, kind, warm, genuine lady who would actually get up on camera completely makeup free. That is just so rare, so rare. Everybody's so fake. Okay, I'm not saying everybody, but it's just like, if somebody doesn't love you for exactly who you are, drop them, drop them. Right? When I get up in the morning, I'm so comfortable, so confident. From the moment I get up, I don't need to race and put on makeup to fool Dr. She about anything. Right? He knows who I am, what I look like. I wake up loved already. That is so empowering, so comforting. You should have that too. You should not worry that I'm a little pale right now. If you Black, you ain't never pale. You just need to eat right so you can get your melanin glowing again. Right? And so, yeah, there's so much going on, but I just wanted to say my condolences to the passing of Ananda Lewis from breast cancer at 52. Let me come back on over to StreamYard so I can, and greet you, family. Oh, boy, okay. Okay, let me put this like that. There we go. And greet anyone who's here that I didn't greet. Love like the sun. It's so beautiful to see you, sister. Peace and Black love to you too, beloved. And I have to get that right, but you are such a good person, beloved Emil A. It's good to see you very much so. Emil is a Filipino, and I love Filipinos. They're wonderful people, and they've suffered a lot at the hands of the same oppressors that we have, even though they have their own story. Just each race, each nation of people, they got their own histories and stories to tell. And when you are not afraid to acknowledge that it's good that there's diversity on the planet, but not all in one just nation where only one keeps insisting on being in charge of everything, so much so that they will collude with China to prop off riots on the West Coast so that they can get all the people down there or over on there to, could you get out? Because if you figure out about that radiation, we're going to have lawsuits up the wazoo. Because they know. That's why they also won't pay us reparations. We don't need reparations. We need our own sovereign territory. I ain't settling for no daggone check. I want the land. Cut me some acreage, not some cash. Okay? Because they make the cash. They make the products. Where you think all that money gonna go with? They got us so out of our daggone minds. It's going to go right back to them. And if it doesn't go right back to them because they still have just rulership over wherever it is we're living, they will make our lives super hell. Super hell. Okay? Because that's the way that they are. They never stop. They never stop. Okay? So even without the land, as long as we have that separation, not segregation, right? When you hear someone you saying segregation, change the language so that they could understand that there's a very different meaning between those two words. Separation, we rule ourselves. Segregation, they stay in charge. Okay? So as long as you have that separation in your foremost endeavors, we could separate from these dudes right now. We wouldn't have to do a thing but just support each other. Stop going to them for your, like when it comes to something as serious as a cancer, the easiest cancer to cure is the one that you don't let get started. All right. And out of, I don't know what to do here because I'm not doing this to sell anything, but I'm actually, and the service I provide, what I'm doing, truly trust and believe. I've had people try to get me to be upset with Black people, but that ain't happening because I love you so much. And I know what they've put us through, right? But they've said to me, they're like, aren't you mad at Black people because they are racing to go buy you this and buy you that? And I'm like, have our ancestors stop? Did they ever stop? And most of them never saw the fruits of all their work. And they kept on going. And the ones we respect the most are the ones who always knew who we are. So that's the way I am. I'm just on a train that was built by those far greater than I am. All right? So, yes, I wrote Furnace of Affliction, Healing Radiation Damage to the Human Body. Why do I know that this is the factor in what our brother, the brother is back, said? What everyone is going around the same time because of this graph here behind me. The intensity of energy put out by radioactive particles with gamma being, depicted as the strongest frequency. And I don't know, maybe there are other ones that are even more volatile. But I've heard for gamma, the only way that you can withstand the barrage of gamma is to be behind on the other side of whatever particle is putting it out of a 20 feet thick lead wall. 20 feet. Think about how tall basketball players are. You need 20 feet. So you would need maybe 3 7-foot tall basketball players to lengthwise, if you laid them foot to head, okay? You would need to be on the other side of something like that in order to not be hit by a gamma particle. But if you're eating it, and within one atom you can have gamma waves, because these are waves coming out at you that would be in your body, shooting out a bullet tinier than an atom, proton that would just be pinging off that sucker for hundreds of thousands to billions of years. You be long dead, right? And with that in you, you'd be going out a lot faster if you don't know how to get it out, right? But suddenly, what you need a 20-foot thick lead wall between you and that gamma ray to stop. It's in your very flesh, in your organs, pinging 1,440 times per day with this level of energy from just one atom. Now, there's different types of radiation. Not all of them have gamma rays emitting from them. Some of them just have what they call low emitting beta rays. It doesn't matter if it's in your flesh. Like with tritium water, we have trees on this planet in the United States right now that are steaming because they're that hot. It'll be a rain and the trees from the bark will steam. I did a video on it. Okay. And so when people get all upset about the 5G, it's the 5G killing the whales. Oh my God. Well, at least they know it's not the jab. Okay. But the 5G would be somewhere down around here where the microwave energies are. This is where the 5G is. Okay. 5G ain't up over here where the gamma rays are coming from. But here's where the X-rays, where you can't get an X-ray for a pregnant woman anywhere. It's against the law. Thank you, Alice Stewart. White woman. Okay? I could thank white people. It ain't against my religion to acknowledge when someone is bringing some truth that's going to save lives. And Alice Stewart brought some truth that got X-rays canceled so that the babies that were born from those women's wombs didn't come out the form. And that's not the only issue. I've been getting myself some sunlight, so I go outside during, the peak hours, make sure I get that good sun because the sun loves black meat, that's for sure. No immediate danger. This was written by Rosalie Bertell, a nuclear physicist. And I was reading in here, it's amazing that they thought that they could hide this stuff forever. But I've been going over pages, every single page is just blistering. But how she was talking about how they would test upwards of 1,000,000 soldiers, 1,000,000 enlisted men right in front of these nuclear bomb tests. And then later on, when they came up with the cancers, and she says the tumors take years and years to grow. So ain't no turbo cancer going on from the jab, right? Ain't no turbo cancer. That's the lies that they're going to come up with. Well, they lied to them soldiers too, who started coming up with all their conditions because this level of energy, that's too much. That's incinerating, because down here with just electrical, this is just electrical. This is what they use to execute people in an electric chair. They do not use ionizing radiation to electrocute people because they would kill everybody in the building. Okay? And you would be able to touch the building after that. Nobody would be able to go into the building after that. However, if you're talking on your cell phone and you hang it up, everybody could go walk. Oh, who called you? You look like you were having such a good conversation. Right? I'm just saying the level of energy we're dealing with. And Ananda Lewis lived in California where the Fukushima, oh my goodness, that hit it. But it's not like it's going to stay in that one place. It's going to move. It's going to circulate, especially if we are silent about it. I know this is my duty. Allah put this on me, and so I do this. Right? But I know because of my research, there are things we could do so that we can, most of all, I want us to excel by surviving and building for ourselves. But depending on how silent we are, surely we want justice. Surely we want righteousness so that we can, let me go back on over to Ananda. Let's see now. There she is. And let me come back over to you so I could share the screen again. Oops, I'll still have to go back over there. Okay. Where are you, Ananda? Well, let me go over here because I have all of these lovely photos of her. Surely we need to do justice by, as the brothers back stated, all of us who are suddenly dropping dead at the same time, and we're all young. We're children. I highlighted children on the share I did just the one, right, about the whale saying, was it the jab? No, it wasn't. All the dead creatures, they ain't getting jabbed by that thing, even though the World Health Organization just signed in an edict. That means they're going to roll that sucker out again. And I can see them building up against it, going to blame the Chinese. Oh, they got that. People are dying and missing in China. No, they're not. If they're dying from the radiation, because the Chinese know that. I captured the photos, screen capture of them during the last scamdemic testing the seafood for COVID. What? Stop. Stop. They think we're that stupid. They think we're that addicted to them that we can't think straight and say, wait a minute, I can see you with torturous Q-tips that they, remember, originally shove it all the way up into your brain cavity almost. Right? There was like, they just did all this stuff just to have fun at our expense. Look how stupid they are. And they'll accept us probing a friggin' 20-foot long Q-tip up their noses to test for something that we made up. Doesn't exist. Why would they want to spend all that money trying to develop some hazardous, the things I could say about viruses. But all I'm saying is there ain't no particle of dead stuff going to bother you if you're eating right. If you're doing right, right? And so all this jabberoonie dooney stuff, that is just about hiding Fukushima, because the World Health Organization also said it was just 2 years after Fukushima, there's going to be a 70% increase rate in cancers worldwide. So that was in 2013. Right? The whole corona hysteria stuff didn't pop off till the end of 2019. Whoa, we need to be going, rather than to one of these psychics out there, Miss Cleo, we need to be going to the WHO. Oh my goodness, you guys could predict the future. No, you script the daggone your intentions for the future. And there were a lot of people who started asking questions, but not enough. Because the real trap on the other side of the whole corona hysteria was the jab. It was a jab. And they're going to pull all stops out now, where they're going to have riots because they know people ain't going to fall for it. Ultimately, the thing is to get people out in the streets killing each other. I do not recommend killing anybody. I recommend the most effective tactic there is: share my videos. Share the warning. Maybe there's something, I do Twitch thing with my neck or something. I don't know. You can't stand me. That's all right. I don't mind. As long as we have a planet, we can work it out. We can work it out. So just go share the information. You don't have to share not a daggone thing about me. I don't want to do this. I mean, I do it now. I love talking with us. But when I'm not up here, trust and believe, I'm not like, I have to stop myself from doing another share. No, I'm cool. My life is good. So don't share anything about me. But Go do the research for yourself. I put the book list at the end of most of my shares. You could go get those books and read them, and you'll be just as astounded as I am at how much they've lied to us about man-made radiation. Okay, so let me come back and say peace to anyone who came on in. Let's see now. Oh, remove that right there. There we go. And that was it. Thank you to everyone who's come on through. Again, my condolences to Sister Ananda Lewis. And when I say sister, I am proud to call her our sister. Black women, you are amazing. When we sisters are just confident and humble at the same time. So we're not arrogant. We're not diva-like. There is no other woman on the planet like us. And the brothers, I don't care what the media says. I know you ain't no beta males. I know because I'm in a house with a man who is, he's the head of our household with joy and exuberance from me because that's a man. He's just like, there's a level of confidence, a level of solidity that the Black man has that all of the nations are just huffing and puffing to catch up so they hope they can talk you into thinking, you should be a softer, gentler man. I'm not saying that. There's all kinds of personalities with men. But I'm saying the Black man has no equal in terms of your just firmness of your spirit. Right? So I come here for us because we have been just lied to so atrociously. We're an amazing people. We've changed the world, and not as oppressors, but as sharers, as givers of a might, a force that is unparalleled. All right. All right. So I've said all that I need to say. Oh, there's new comments. That's a wonderful thing. I love you too, Sister Sharud. It's good to see you, Queen. All right. Mwah. Good. 37 minutes. That's pretty short. I love you. Straight Black Pride is our map to everything. Peace and blessings.